Welcome, tankers, to a LokeenGaming production with your host, Lokeen. What up? We're going to open this up with a nice, ammo rack on an IS-3. Obviously, we're here today to talk about the Löwe, my favorite Tier 8 premium heavy tank. This thing is all about credits, accuracy, and penetration. Back in the day, there were a number of prototypes that were developed by the Germans for the Löwe. It was intended to be their super heavy tank. There was about 6, 7, 8 prototypes that were developed, and because the Germans, mostly Hitler, at the time, had issues with the design and the functionality, and they wanted it bigger and better and stronger and crazy, and you know, that whole thing about the Germans in World War II and their big fascination with the super weapon. Before this thing ever got into production, it was replaced by the Moss. So, we never actually saw a Löwe in real life. This tank is an excellent side scraper. It has good bossy armor at tier 8. And as I mentioned, it has amazing gun handling and gun accuracy. I'm going to watch some long range shots on an RU here. He thinks he's safe. He doesn't know that I'm there. Yeah, we call it a little target for some. Oh, track. Fortunate track. He's going to try and sneak away. Can you make it? No, don't think so. Thanks for coming out. So that's what I mean. This, for a heavy tank, this thing has excellent accuracy. It's got a laser beam gun. And the curvature of the turret is surprisingly bouncy if you use it properly. It can hull down. And it can, as I mentioned as well, side scrape effectively. One defensive tactic that's really helpful to use with the Löwe is wiggling from side to side while reversing. If you're forced in a head-on situation with an opponent, you'll find that you can ricochet and bounce shells off the front of your tank as well. Penetration issues, only some tier 9s head-on. As you can see here, I'm faced up against an E75 and I have to switch to APCR to get a shot right in the front. Boom, there you go, gray. But once we go to APCR, no issues whatsoever. Waffenträger, yeah, or sorry, a Borsig, see you later. The Löwe has received 3 major buffs since World of Tanks Blitz has been released. 1.2, it got a credit profitability buff. 1.3, it got another credit profitability buff. And 1.9, it actually got a physical buff. Traverse speed for the suspension was increased from 24 to 28 degrees. For the 10.5 centimeter L70 gun, the reload speed was changed from 12 down to 11 seconds. And the aiming time was rounded to 2.85 seconds. So they have adjusted the Löwe to keep it competitive and keep it relevant at tier 8. I think it is, in fact, the IS kryptonite, so to speak. A lot of people are upset with the IS plague or IS overbalancing in tier 8. A lot of the defenders you see, IS6s, IS3s, this tank can deal with them and deal with them well. It can bounce their shots if you play it correctly, and it can penetrate every single one of those tanks mentioned with ease. At the end of the day, though, the reason that you buy a Löwe is credits. Look at this shot here. Ever had trouble penning commander's hatches on very flat top turreted tanks, i.e. an IS-6? IS-3, not a problem. This tank has the accuracy to rip through their commander's hatches no matter how tight the shot is. And the reload speed is actually quite acceptable as well. But as you're going to see near the end of this video, it's all about credits. You want a credit earning tank at tier 8, you go with the Löwe. This thing is a credit machine. Coming up in a couple seconds here as well, you can see what I'm talking about in terms of backing up and angling your tank. Here you can see on that rock I got a bit of a side scrape set up, which is advantageous. But here as I back up with enemies shooting at me, there's a bounce and the turn and the spin. You can spin back and forth as you reverse, and it never really gives them a clean shot on the front of your glacis, whether upper or lower. So all in all, the Löwe, like I said, is my favorite tier 8 premium heavy. It's a great tank, great credit earner, Great penetration, great accuracy. It is a little bit slow in the forward speed, but it's got excellent traverse as well. You can see here some examples of very average games, all sitting in the 50,000 credit range. And then Brawny Man 50 sent me an awesome game I had to display. Congratulations on the huge credits and the mastery. There we go. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay tuned for more videos to come.